Shapiro and Alicia Krause.
Our very own Ben Shapiro goes back into the lion's den and goes mano a mano with Piers Morgan on Piers Morgan Tonight on CNN.
You know,
it was good times.
You always fight with him.
Oh, that's the point.
You guys are always fighting.
Oh, yeah, we got to go at it. It's Brit versus American.
Yeah.
It's 1776 style on Piers Morgan.
The first time Ben went on
the
Piers...
British are coming. The British are coming.
Right. The first time you went on, it sounded a little like this.
Guns, my next guest, has strong words for me. He says, I'm off the rails on guns in America. Ben Shapiro is editor-at-large at Breitbart.com and the author of Bullies, How the Left's Culture of Fear and Intimidation Silences Americans. So why am I off the rails, Mr. Shapiro?
Honestly, Piers, you've kind of been a bully on this issue because what you do, and I've seen it repeatedly on your show, I watch your show, and I've seen it repeatedly, what you tend to do is you tend to demonize people who differ from you politically by standing on the graves of the children of Sandy Hook, saying they...
Here it comes when Piers glares at Ben and says, how dare you?
Don't seem to care enough about the dead kids. If they cared more about the dead kids, they would agree with you on policy. I think we can have a rational political conversation about balancing rights and risks and rewards of all of these different policies, but I don't think that what we need to do is demonize people on the other side as being unfeeling about what happened in Sandy Hook.
How dare you accuse me of standing on the graves of the children that died there? How dare you?
I've seen you do it repeatedly, Piers.
Like I say, how dare you?
I mean, you can keep saying that, but you've done it repeatedly. What you do, and I've seen you do it on the program.
So that was the first time. They loved that so much.
That was like...
It was great television.
The first day of the American Revolution.
Oh, was it really, Alicia?
Last night was a little more tame, but still entirely entertaining.
Ben Shapiro and Piers Morgan, you showed up there. You saw him face to face?
Oh, yeah.
How was the was he warm to? Does he shake your hand?
Yeah, she was much nicer this time.
Much nicer this time.
First time he was much less happy. This time he was he was in a better mood.
Well, this time he was in a better mood because he knew that he'd have an additional 30,000 people tuning in to watch his show.
Ben, let me ask you, just totally not relevant. Is Piers Morgan a tall man?
He's probably an inch taller than I am.
He is? Okay, all right.
I think that's relevant, though, because I
think
he's
a big guy, right?
Yeah, he is big. He's built wide.
Built kind of Whitman style?
I don't know.
He's a really?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay, here's more of Ben Shapiro and Piers Morgan.
I've heard of these people that you will need in the next few years, it says, you will need to have weapons to take on your own government.
I don't believe in the next few years. I believe that there is always the possibility of government tyranny. I don't see that happening in the next couple of years. I do think, Piers, I have to say, I think the reason that there are so many folks who are talking about the possibility of government tyranny is threefold, really. It's the Obama administration's increasing reliance on big government, and that I think threatens some people. I think that it is folks like Alex Jones who do this routine where every time they shut down a city like Boston because of a terrorist attack, it's the end of the world and military laws at hand. And honestly, I think part of it is due to folks like you, Piers, because, you go out of your way to really give the impression that you're interested in taking away people's fundamental right to bear arms, and I think that scares a lot of folks.
How dare you?
So he said at that point that he really did not want to take away people's arms, and then I sort of made him admit that he wanted to take away people's guns.
How dare you admit what I never wanted to admit out loud?
I still don't understand your position on this because you've said you're against assault weapons, but you are okay with handguns. Handguns kill 6,000 people a year. Assault weapons kill 300.
Well, they're both a big problem.
So
handguns
why don't we
in
just go
Chicago
for
and assault weapons with mass shootings.
You're from the UK. Why don't we just go with a full gun ban?
Well, listen, we've discussed this. The UK has 40, 50 gun murders a year.
Right, so why don't
America has 12,000. Why don't we try our way? Let's move on to this. Jason,
I'm glad you finally let your agenda out there.
Jason, I don't have an agenda. I just want to make America safe and save lives. How dare you?
All righty, and now let's get to the very tender issue of Mr. Jason Collins. Right. So he's announced that after, 10, 12 years in the NBA?
Yes.
And you guys are all over him. I say, I'm proud of him because I don't care what my rule is, and I know a lot of good people disagree with me. But here's Whitman's rule. Here's my rule. Take it or leave it. It can't hurt. My rule can't hurt you, really. Do what you want. Do what you want with consenting adults. Don't be related to, I'm not the incest craziness. If you're two grown women, you're two grown men, you love each other, do it. Don't hurt anybody. Don't harm anyone else in the process. That's my position, and I think you probably knew that without me saying it.
And my position is the same as far as government goes. I think that whatever you do in your private life is your business. I can consider it a sin, but you don't have to care. That's what makes America great.
So this guy, Jason Collins, says he's gay to Sports Illustrated, and there's a whole lot of criticism. Ben Shapiro from your Morning Answer and Piers Morgan from CNN. Go, mano a mano.
To Jason Collins, this is the sports star that came out. You tweeted this. So Jason Collins is a hero because he's gay. Our standard for heroism has dropped quite a bit since Normandy. Why such a cheap shot against a guy who did a pretty brave thing?
I don't think it's a cheap shot. I think that heroism is defined by willingness to sacrifice in favor of, and take a real personal risk in favor of a noble, larger goal. This may be a noble, larger goal, but I'm not sure what the risk is.
First male American athlete in history to come out as gay while still playing.
Martina Navratilova came out in 1981. That was
male.
3 years before I was born.
I said male.
So let me ask you something, Piers. Why do you hate Americans so much that you think this is such a homophobic country that when Jason Collins comes out, it is the biggest deal in the history of humanity? President Obama has to personally call him to congratulate.
Why do I hate America so much?
That you think that we are such a homophobic country.
You don't think Piers hates America?
No, he loves America because he gets paid to live here.
I think the underlying theme to a lot of folks on the left is that America is essentially a racist, homophobic, intolerant country, and that's why we need so much change. If America was really that great, we wouldn't need all this change. And so when Obama says he wants to change us, or when he celebrates things like Jason Collins coming out of the closet, the only reason that would be a big deal is if Jason Collins were facing an overwhelming wall of opposition to him coming out. Nobody cares.